November 11 nag bés bu egsee rek xol yëpp tooy ndax daf ñuy fàttali loo xam ne lu métti la woon.
November suñ nee rek ëllëg la 1st November man ci laa dee door de am problème balaa November di jeexal.
November 11 victims ol mi ka fo yefa nkema tarta wo mol economy ni yalon ko ka fo yefa
bay be siren lunkilendo ikema e bodala to ayta akata do ko la tata mamurna
moom Dot Fall ak Basiru Baro ñoom lañ njëkka rey sànni leen ci troc bi ci kaw.
patrol boobu lañ doon xaar ñanco ben tey gisuñ ko.
ite murunta watu doron ite ni woni ko yaka murun wonene bukap adate bola folungo min nan tol fanam fata
kabri Ivan Fama Faka was 11 months old.
Ya alamali kitite nate adunta yam fala ya ma abada ha
ñanco mënuñ koo fàtte nekkul doom boo xamante ne dañ koo fàtte.
i ñanta ñunu kiitindi la de ye sorong moo taa kala ko teke
ña nga xam ne mook ñoom ñoo reerandoor that same night ku ma si taseel su ma leen ana Dot dooma faale.
mose muta ya muta nu ya fa ya sare fo kabri wirilo kata nu yundum baraks ye mo wiro keji
tatam findira fo Westfield ma fa ngaji otumo fogo son Africa ke otumo be ke astata ka fodron ye otumo fombe lori mo ba la moy kan dako Basiru leftan Basiru Baro ya faale ndaran su dara ko kewni abe nyusin la moy la fogo Africa fogo son Africa ba la moy kan do ka be ngomoy rek nsi ko sudi ata do ngomoy do wurta da men do kewni muta akoy ko munde kitela munem muso munem he akonye na mo lenyinti.
Charity was a good initiative. Yeah, that's what we had hope, we expected, the truth will finally come out. Because what happened during November 11, there were lots of rumors and lots of lies. The main lie in social Yemen far. So among them, Kafoko, Musoro Prum Latimelanco, the Africa Banjul Depot, the fuel depot, Kadi Mala. So these are ridiculous, outrageous lies. I also remember Bafoko US government be Kuma. Lots of different events coming up here now.
Defense. Police ko movie me yalan ko itolle mul ba fal ko itolle to nya it mon fem fo jem to nya because one ila point men sana ko Basiru nyulu ni to mon Basiru fa Basiru nyulu be to fala o mul yalati wala tina imam fem fo jem lata men
Baron needs to take charge. Right in his face, I will tell him he needs to take charge. He's not actually in charge of the country. What is he doing about those victims? I mean, he needs to face us. He needs to address the situation as soon as possible.
tinga singa be tesify do ndol ne ko tabak alu sang sabale mol ko ay to nyal fa be uli ya do ne fa ko saka men fo barñol ya plan nak pour yitul fa wala tan so itol ulmi to fa wona itol yolu fa da bo mu uli ya do ne fan to nyal to mo sun kariablete mo jamano ko leata no bake ma easy ko leata bake bay be siren lunkilendo ikema e bodala to ayta akata do ko lata ta mamurna wolu ko leata bak na ko leata le continuously ko leata le fo bi alhamdulillah dino tata fo ment bari kabin tumo men o wato o lungo oni bitem o tumo dino be doyare ngine mun na foskal ten ni boyo tumo atu jaw bo 7 years o amanta school fanga nyala primary school nyala fang atu mo ben no school le ate bota fata sang me no sang intera no primary school so akoleta bakela maizi aferen maizi akoleta de basir ko kata do ko la do basir tata mamur nan ko take mbet so man basir tata do ko la do man na so man da besu ko na ja ngalla bun ko na janne so ko na janne so man da do ngaje mul ka dunna mul be dun kanan rek ni men rek afay basir len ko basir tata do ko barin ka je mul ka si anyam badingul kana yara fa rumus moy len tel mamoy so time akole ato bake sayem funta tam subita dona ta ko basir ya ba fu kan ko basir ni ko kunun suto ye coup d'état le kede ko basir quoi ko hani ko basir man coup d'état kay ko ni ko basita do ko wala ko hani e wala fay ko coup d'état le kede andu ko ni kido ko mutaji bakel ala ko jubi center confuse linten ni mulbe dunna mulbe fintila mulma mun be kere for 5 o'clock come by this time kabin somanda for 5 by this time 5 oton definde ko fo sida to mono fo aton ko mbara finti ba mbinde dara say mbi yaay kan sato ko ndata fo west film afa pour nsi rumos moy fe mulbe mem fo kam because mi fon sa moy mi fon tulola tata mi finde fo west film afa ngaji otumo focus on africa be ke otumo be ke stata ka fo dron ye otumo fombe lor mo ba la moy kan dako basiru le fon basiru baro ya fale ndara sudara ko kewni abe nyusin la moy la fogos africa because on africa ba la moy kan do kabri ngomoy rek nsi ko sudiyata do ngomoy do wurta da men do kewni muta akoy ko munde kitela munem muso munem he akoy nyina mo le nyinti de ay la say montano ko taken simul be fata montano say ji ya mentray do mbulande taxi ye dina taxi en samna street so kono ja tay jeni nga foto so kono ja ngatar jambe fata mo la say jambe fata ba to mo nina ala second wife be so kono ja ko jangata mo to bu ko mbola mo say ente do ko da ko ten koleata wala koleata ba ke den dimma koleata ba ke mul kumbuta mun dekata ngame moy focus to ngo do na long man fel long men senata e ko ya faale e ka itata coup d'état le ya faale basir 35 years lo roso 35 by then I was 25 years akoleata de yon ding aduto na futu be diareng be contendre mba pire nardung struggle kono kabirin awolu o dele ndi struggle start say jingo injile be ya business nga struggle start nga mexo nga kata pour na dini wol se karang dini wol city be high school akoleata bake kabirin jere man si ko take do beta up and down tata nga restaurant yele sere ko na marché be fiiro wala jembe konto ngoni tara from 7 to 7 ni mboten so kono 7 for another 7 wudaro nga breakfast dada nga konto dada fon be jila wato mona 7 kasila ngana dinga nal nga la dron fo ko tum fa ngata say dinugol pour ci karang so school fees jono e ko wala ki eno e karang ta ko is easy throughout me the mal rek be continuously be for 7 good years 8 years in jam nata futu ila broda do was mang data fo mang fen ngopta lose ta hope la say ko mi basir amam balo ko take afata parto mo do ka fa mam fa do la fa so ka confused be confused say berka binta fo 7 years nga decide ko bata ko futu nata futu wala broda Basiru was a very nice man. Basiru aya dimbal kanule aya badingul kanu Basiru is and he is very pious. Basiru dauda alafta ala dinola alafta dimbal Basiru very caring man. Basiru was very caring. It was very tough for us. I'm tough battle. Mganki kule because manghani mvu fa manghani man free manghani do ba fa ko li ñu uti lool lañ am bi ba mo ko be ba fa ko ito leaki fu ate yaaya jame siri ko tata ko dita ito fu leaki time fo do ba fa ko di affaire ne li la so jarul damal ali friji ñi so jarul damal way bim yaaga ñep fa na for sivilenol be akala mutale jumal mi aya jamete bos amandang sojarol damal anata sivilenol fanan kan so to mo be yalo munikata ro tay mo dol ni mo ban ko muta serious tente fa na fo badi mo ba dol yow len jefey ka e chokon ya fa ko ki jabar basir barola ci family basir barola ni la nek dund bu metti lañu nek fa metti lo te do am fo wara joyto do am lo ko ñu muñ rek ni joy fi nga kum sita jana kum buta ja sabata mfango na ibuka lo be la kum fon foleme kum mam fen soto fanga fintinga nam fanga expose ma hay because ikana NIL nata jang one into basic sama NIL kanam ko exonje so wa na wutu man hanyi fam because nga one day before me to en fana bi faja moma fenno ni en mo da fenno so ndafo pressure kono mantra hanya it was very tough akoleta dimma koleta to mo koleta police question rek basiri ali yakalam ta kala ko dita ko control makalam basiri ngamoy ko ay sada bondole ke control makam ex minister sol jumal le kana basiria o ko police question le ngin ka wala ito ko sa dollar president minister kotol wala basir bal ko da pre ko dita ito ko wala ko minister ex minister sol sad from sada e ko wala basir use private ko dita ni kabiri of ko to nyante wote no to nyante wote o police ko question ko wala fa rek iba fala ay nga moy se da sada la ndi ana le mun lo ngala ko to ay ko da jël la soto ay din jël la soto e wala ni kan bari man na finken dolla from this office another official town different question is a different course but dol ni même fo kuma kilo même fo ni mbota this office ni dara next office nga ko kuma kilo wala fo so ya jube do ko alse en sen tetana
ni kombo fala nak ndafen so même fala adun tamam famalo kabri ibam fama faka I was 11 months old yeah so takan tamala fo mol kam même fala ko to rek other than that mamere na fello ngala ko to nak well diga bi moy akola no kadong anyway at some point well, no traje so it become normal to me kadon tamalo so but it wasn't easy kadong mama dama at the malam was responsible for everything for my upkeep na schooling so it wasn't easy actually on her so kolata le bila sita rek bari kolab yero no in the past
kabin to be siri jang aji sana sabal be testify fenke atondi tingata ha edi wol singata be testify dol dol ne ko tabak alu sana sabale mol ko ay to nyal fa be uli ya don ne fa ko saka men fo barñol ya plan nak pour yitul fa wala tan so itol ulmi to fa wane to le fa da bo uli ya don net fan to nyante wote baron namno o ngani sto pour ngata mo fa never o man ko o namno bolo kon so ala o testify mol ya ko america to nyal fa uli ya dama fa na defender bara man fa mo to nyati ala o statement ni inde kampala fa way kampata way sana sabal ko statement si fa fa ko ni do lafte tul fala wala ni tul ya tul fa to nyanta ko moti yalo itul ko basir baron le ledati dot fal ñol anin dot fal yitul fa very first day la very day yitul fa so la boy sol wol siatale boy sol sela wala basir camara ñol ti ali jame ñol ni siatale boy siatale ma imeni fa aftante me wol belo fa ça c'est family sa nga ñolong tolaka ngasi everywhere ben ko mandi lambita dulal to taram de rombe kel na kol be say mbi the same family be ñolon ne be na kol ngatala up and down na kol be ñoko bus mbe ba fight kan ko ngaci ngana to ñaso so wa kamala mbi kita ngane kelenati mbi kita bul kelenten en takko be la pour ka nga bolengi no ma fusen na to ñadin
alhamdulillah de tubula min barodi de fama basero dim folot aba banawt min nawt mom ba sanji wala 7 years wala alhamdulillah I have nasa bar ñokam fo sañi wala sañi lulo ngobere men bala ka kam modiyare remember him very well na Mr. Bodnoka. The memories are still with me, are very, very precious memories. So, alhamdulillah, nka ning laf ka ko akumira nka mira wat wala na mi sabatnoka. Beautiful memories actually. Nga fama mo survivment. Mfama is very caring. He loves his family a lot. So, what I was like very young. I can say remember he's one of his sisters. Bingo banda sa almandi man ka kala. Ubo futuro jana basuri. Kanza ko basuri sis do bi hawa bing hawa wo foto wala dum Kimbuje kan sama dia and then do was Santa Bajan Musuka kan sama na woto phone like spend time whole day family so ngala mo le men ko family kono back hana bitu nata jang ase sama moto wala kata Ibo town sometimes asan sama just airport just to look at the airplanes very young I remember on some occasions what my Maroon supermarket at Bestfield. These are childhood memories. So I send somebody, he buys me a bounty. I still remember bounty very well. He buys me a bounty, just take me to the beach, just me and him. We just look at the waves and then we come back. So lots of fun memories. One I remember, I believed ngalonko farmer manta blowing. Ngalonko, it's not possible. From farmer I tell blowing, I yemang. Moment ko family nyami. I yemang amana family. Ngalonko, it's just not possible for him to be alive. So this is one of the reasons I realized for to confirm amount of blood in Kodak. Bingalon ko movement ko after family back. So what a bolula aman nafindal family ka. I'm missing so kabin early on primary school and my father is no longer alive.
They 3 domers, 2 boy, 1 girl. The second wife, 2 girl. Alhamdulillah. We got a big boy, we got a big girl. So be fututa, man will be fututa, man will be family man, and I'm a big man now. At Matakorda, I brother will tell them better thing. Then saying Alhamdulillah. Now, the muso, ila sister, at the Angatian. Saying, be a caron kendo, be school, high school, also. New South High School, Gitan, Lamin, Gita. Send SOS abdita SOS be la karamol ki say la mu website di sanalati abala on business la one utumo especially this boy minta thing o ma fama atamal fa o ba ben 11 months na atamal ferek so galo ni utumo van be 3 years afana malo me yalo ndi only boy me yalo minti bawa kata ngana tabi sebi ni soto udon na yalo bari ndoro malo so isi ngindol ol ka feel ko mini moy ko baba nata ol ka feel back is our feel at the end nga ko ni be mai fa ma ya jamela ya fa be akalmus ina takala mtoko ya jamela fa ma fa but the only team make it sabata do memneke what woni yedi amosi ni fa woni be defa fala tato conditional koneja akoleta bake ndolu ka fudu yale yafa ya jame sana sabali edo singate ñu lefa never mam finji maji kaba bata jengu fubi maji ko tek maji rumus be fu kan nungu kar ñu lefa kar ñu fa bari ana sene ka minda tiarasi yana sana ñu lefa ko to lefa sana ina to fole fa ngole sene ko ito lefa ila buisul fi ta atifa ili pafuefa kweta tiarasi akweta barata ngurumos moile baraman koy.
So now let's go back to the events of November 11th. Okay. In your testimony, you indicated that before you departed State House, you had a council plan to go and conduct this war and execute and kill the ringleaders, correct?
Correct.
You went to Fajara, to Yundum barracks. You captured some soldiers. You kept them in the cell, correct?
Correct.
From there, on your way to Yundum barracks, to Fajara barracks, some of the captured soldiers were transferred to Mile 2.
Correct.
After capturing Fajara barracks, you brought the soldiers from Mile 2 and paraded them at the field.
Correct.
And you targeted the ringleaders for execution, that is Dotfal and Basiru Baro.
Correct.
And under your order, members of the council and the soldiers behind you opened fire at these individuals. They died.
Correct.
Yourself and the members of the council are fully responsible for those killings.
I am responsible since I was the commander on the ground.
By their participation, the council members, by their agreement that this is what you are going to do, they were all equally culpable like you and have responsibility for those killings.
On the collective aspect, yes, correct.
Wonderful. So now we proceed. I asked you this question yesterday, that throughout the process, you were in contact with Yaya Jammeh.
100% correct.
Did he give any orders with regards to what to do with the ringleaders?
Is to execute them.
Can you expatiate? Can you tell us the conversation you had with him wherein he said to execute the ringleaders?
This was the moment when we captured Barrow, Lieutenant Barrow, and we found in his map pocket this book on which their orders were written. And in this book, we found out how they were going to execute us, arrest us with our families, bodyguards, and transport us to the Brikama farming range and execute us. Then when I informed him about this information, he said immediately, we execute the ringleaders.
Who said so?
This is Yaya Jammeh, the chairman at the time.
So let's get this correct. And let's, without any shadow of doubt, you're telling us that when you informed Yaya Jammeh about the notebook you received, which indicated the plans Barrow had for you, Yaya Jammeh told you what?
He told me clearly, we have to execute the ringleaders.
And that is what you did?
Exactly.
So when you were killing Basiru Barrow and Dotfal at Fajara Barracks, tell me if I am wrong.
Okay.
You did that on the basis of the agreement you had at State House before you left. You did it on the basis of the instructions Yaya Jammeh gave on the telephone, and you did it on the basis of your own agreement as members of the council who were present there and executed the act, correct?
Correct. That yeah, that's right. Melong Basiru koto nga fuji. At Basiru. Ay, ndege na nola five for ntole nga tara lungome. Basiru very caring man. And dimbaya topotole and dimbaya man feng man sula fen man men soto. So ndere kontan rimbake lembe kontan rimbake ina na kontan kati.
He's always very concerned about their issue.
And he was a
very good man who made sure that he stood for his family, his relatives. When these things happened, the family suffered. Because no matter how much his relatives help us, they cannot do exactly as he would have done. We suffered with the family. Especially me. I do business in the home when he was alive. But after he died, I could not continue.
Interview jam so inen do la ren commandé ko ngata tiara se ngata na ko sonol ngata na ko mol fuji tata ji ndara fa ngata tiara se ngana ko be fuji sa yalla ñi victime na ñi dingo be victime sandal do ko dat bo men tamet sa itoli ya ko organize pour ngata tiara se ngana ko be fuji en sen isen en ko sona ansaren kiji ndara ji fu ngana statement so be tuji after you not call TRC. Willing from in a mind freeing demand. That make me free because that by then more country jube nyame and in cool not again not a cool nyame. It was different. Boy cool only from cool clarified mole what was happened.
TRC was a good initiative. Yeah, that's what we had hope, we expected, the truth will finally come out. Because what happened during November 11, there were lots of rumors and lots of lies. So among them, Kafoko, Banjul Depot, the fuel depot, Kadi Mala. So these are ridiculous, outrageous lies. I also remember Bafoko, US government Bekoma, lots of different events. I remember in 2015 or 2016, Otumo Sabali was the Secretary General. I remember this because I was very angry that day. So there was a political statement America was read in English, and in Manaka account and in Surakon. Sabal was on TV, reading this statement saying, according to what they passed on to him, Kafuku, November 11, Sojuro, America be coma, come Yaji Kafuku, America be coma, America Manfata Mansia, Kumenku, Yamulfa, since 1994, you're still living lies on them up to now. And so when would allow them to rest. So I still remember this quite vividly because it's something that really hurt my feelings. If I'm an Italian, why you kill them? Why do you have to say lies upon them after you have killed them for like almost 20 years ago? But it was nature of the regime. They had many lies coming for, and it was the order of that day. So my role in the entire process was support role because I'm not like too outward in the media. I was just in the background, just taking my mom over there, also helping her record statements and things like that. But I was not a public figure, a public face in any of the testimonies held at the TRC. The TRC was, for me to listen to it, was very uncomfortable for me because I do not like to sit down and relive some of those moments. It's traumatic for me, and I remember if I listen to any of those things, I cannot walk. And for me to do my work properly, you have to be at a state of rest. But if you have been reliving moments of trauma, it can be quite difficult to have a steady state of mind to do your work properly. The statements were good. Really, after the testimonies, some of my friends will come to me and they say some good things about your dad. I know my dad, so those are moments I am always happy to hear. May Allah have mercy on you and all his colleagues that were killed on that day. Everybody was like, gravitating towards the radio, listening to someone on the radio, talking like a very fierce person on the radio. I was like, okay, I don't know who's talking on the radio today. Then I came back, I went to YouTube, just played the live testimony on YouTube. And then I realized no one's testimony ever made me as angry, as furious as Sanna Sabali's testimony. Why? So the thing is, this guy was saying how he killed people, and how on the second day testimony, how he was also tortured. And based on those two things, how he'll keep people. So people think that this man is forthcoming, he's honest, he's admitting to the crimes he did. He admitted to the crimes he did, but unfortunately for him, he had a lot of false testimonies and mixed it with the testimony he gave. Sorry, November 11th, I was quite young, but my memory of these events were very vivid. They are, special memories to me, very traumatic memories, but they're very vivid. Shortly after the July 22nd coup, right? So I remember my dad was in the army. He was the, I believe he was the, he was part of the infantry corps. He was a army, engineer, infantry corps, and he was also the army commander at Yundum Barracks. They're in the army, so he comes here and. They pick him up in the morning. He had a high rank. They pick him up in the morning. Anyways, so he comes over and sometimes he will have some ammunition. I remember on the desk. I was quite young, and he kept his. Sometimes he come home and then this was after the coup. It was a very tense moment. He'll keep his pistol on with him, and then he'll go. Then he comes back. Sometimes soldiers go for night shifts as well. So there was never a time that we had a walkie-talkie installed in our house, and we certainly did not have any telephone line transmission here at that time. 1994, there was no telephone line at our house. So I remember in the testimony, Sanna Sabali was saying that he called our house. And I was just like, okay, how can you call someone when there's no army? Army, they talk with radio, right? There's no walkie-talkie, there's no radio station installed in our house. Number one, there is no telephone in our house. So how can you call our house? If you go to his testimony, that these people leveled lots of lies against these soldiers that they killed. If Sanna Sabali mentioned that Bako Jared gave him a note having names of people that should be killed, if that were true, they will come out and parade the paper in the newspapers. Newspapers are very, very were the primary means of getting news those days. Newspapers and radio. they would have put that paper on newspapers and said the names of all people that are recorded on the papers. Certainly, they wouldn't have missed that. Because that will be an opportunity for them. Look, we killed these soldiers because they are going to kill so and so and so and so, and this is the paper. We have the proof. But that was never proof. That was never proof. So it's something they made up to make themselves look good. You kill people that were innocent, that carried no weapons with them, and then you level lies against them. Look, they want to burn Banjul Depot. Look, they had a paper with names of people on them. Sanna will mention this in his testimony. I first heard it from Babkar Diatta. Yes, I first heard it from Babkar. Babkar just lives at Johnson Bar up here. When my father was alive, he used to come here. I knew his wife. I was quite young. Like I said, I had vivid memories of those moments. He used to come here. After the event, we never saw him again. But that doesn't matter to us. But what matters to me, what hurts me is the mention of that piece of paper. I cannot forgive Sanna because of that. You cannot come out say I'm for coming. I'm going to tell the truth. You tell lies about calling this house. Look, I tell you that he did not call this house. He does not know he can call this house, and they didn't send any messenger as far as I know to us. And also the people didn't exist. If it existed, there would have been proof for them. Look, we killed these soldiers. They will do this. But that never surfaced. So yeah, for those two reasons, I cannot take his testimony, but that really made me furious. I remember on social media, I wrote a post about those points. I remember, so that was kind of hurtful for me. If you want people to forgive you, I mean, just at least say the truth. But you're gonna come and make us look like a hero, and then put your stains on other people that you killed.
Yeah, Najibele on TV. I was at work, so I was actually following it on Kerfatu on my laptop. Then I came home. Na jibe fana. It wasn't actually easy. Katu mingata kabiri mudini woteno. Malong what actually transpired for Yafa. So watching on TV, Mobasira by explain ka. By the way, the person wasn't actually remorseful, so it wasn't actually easy on me, nor my family as well. So, yeah. Well, as a rights activist, I will tell you the TRC definitely I'm dangerous. Parce que ayo mbafal ko TRC tonya I never saw. Katunia jibe nte personally. I intend for cooking naji. Well, the truth that I was actually yearning to learn about TRC. Based on the advent of TRC, what more not cool be along. Dominatra TRC masoto, Hanibi, Domintalona, what actually transpired from Famafat and Holonaje. Even though Toyalam, Milnata, the Amda TRC, Amake come Yamimbe Fabium Tonalti. So it all fun at some point, they'll have to protect themselves. So Amake come a fem for Fabium Tonalti, but at least, we have a gist of what actually transpired. Yes. So I intend for Walla, but as a victim, I will tell you, definitely TRC was actually helpful, but the way things are going right now, I am not actually hopeful. Even though I'm advocating for the TRC process, the report and recommendations to be implemented, but the way things are going now, well, based on how the government is taking it, I don't think they're actually serious about it. Personally, if the president was actually serious about the process that he himself started, he would have at least gone to the TRC, sit at one of the sittings. He never did that. There was a trade fair at the stadium. The president went. He said in solidarity with the business community. How about us, the victims? He went all the way to Kanilai to go and visit Yaya Jammeh's family. How about us, the victims? So how do you think we will think about that? It's not actually fair to us. The president that initiated the TRC process never showed any interest in it. I mean, it's just word to mouth for him to sit in his office and say, yes, we are going to implement it, we are going to do that. But it's low. This year, under this year's budget, they allocate $150 million for reparations for victims. That money has been sitting in the coffers for a year. What has the government done about it? It's high time people start talking about it. But no one is actually doing that. What they say is that they are waiting for the Reparation Commission. The bill, who's supposed to draft the bill? Is it not the Ministry of Justice? Have they actually delivered on that front? They haven't. So the hold-up is with the government. They are not actually serious about the process. The victims, they don't have time. We cannot just sit and wait for the process to end. People are dying every day. So, as a victim, I'll tell you definitely the process, it's just word to mouth. There's nothing tangible about it. Justice actually means to me is for us to prosecute each and every perpetrator, not just Yaya Jammeh. The people that actually helped him commit all these crimes, let them face justice. I don't care about the money. TRC, based on the TRC, the reparation guidelines, people that were killed extrajudicially, the price tag that they put on it is $600,000. $600,000 if you give to me as an individual, man du ma njëriñ dara. Talk less of more ko séedoo ak sama family. Doon njëriñu ma. Li ma after mooy na gaay prosecute the perpetrators. Man du rek la after. Anything other than that, I can sort it out for myself. My livelihood, gender care, moto, I can do that for myself. Yàlla may na ma kaataan. Why prosecution moom, it has to come from them. They have to extradite Yaya Jammeh. ñoom Sana Manjang ñu nekk si àll bi it's their responsibility to extradite those people. Yes, they are right about it. I mean, as Speaker of the House, Fabakary Tombong Jatta said, mu ne TRRC dañ ko war a sànni si dustbin bi. If the Speaker is saying that, what do you expect will come from the process? I mean, they are right about it. Loolu moom kay definitely. I mean, there's not even much to say. If the Speaker is saying that, what will the Deputy Speaker think? They don't actually care about the TRRC or the victims. They still deny that Yaya Jammeh committed those crimes. So if those are the people running this country, third in command, what do you expect will come out of it? Nothing.
APRC wala mi ko moy ñu ne mimbe e kabiriye commission on sambanang ben isi commission bi ku mankeno dara mënu ta dem iko say mimbina APRC fala way ñu ne luy ñew di tas APRC wala TRRC ti moy TRRC ngamela nga TRRC gele way fo na ñepa gis TRRC min ya commence ñuko commencé imam fenjeje way gisuñ ci dara ye Sana Sabali ngol sambanang ñu isi ñoom Sana Sabali ye Edward ngol sambanang ñu isi ñoom Edward ye Jonglas ngol sambanang isi Jonglas ye Mor sambanang min ka kango la mol la wa ñu isi ñoo xamantene dañoo tumal nit ye Modol sambanang min ka foko fo si ñata worolam bang ibe ñaple kan wa ñi nga xamantene ñu ne awma.
That is Esau's right. He's a citizen. If he wants to stand for president, it's his right. Me personally, I have no issues with that hierarchy. Yes, definitely. But he's basically a position as lead councillor. Lolo more drives a process. Based on that, more than in Hamla. As he, man, other than that, I never heard of SFL except Bunyon CTRRCB. So he built from that. Then but as a citizen of Gambia, it's his right to run for office. He has the qualifications. He has the knowledge. And if he feels like he can lead the people, then no problem. Well, nekud ya halis. Paski soko said TRRC wasn't actually funded by the government. By UNDP, they were the ones supported. Halis bujuge from Ngurbi, more the $50 million that they presumably got from the sales of the assets of Yaya Jammeh. Out of that 50 million, they took four victims. They took 4 victims to Turkey for treatment. Buñ spend halis you need about 38 million modest. So 38 million bubu no la gay don joxe as reparations. So it's not their halis. Victims are out there. They have been badly treated. They underwent torture. Better you ngi talk admitted bubu non. So if TRRC is they 50,000, 100,000, they are halis. Those victims have been sitting years. Ngurbi never actually acknowledged that they are actually victims. Other than the truth, Hana Gabunyo or TRRC, they knew 19% of the compensation that they are supposed to give us, which is 119,000. So other than that, and the truth, well, the somehow truth that we got from the TRRC process, there's nothing more. Yeah. But needs to take charge. Right in his face, I will tell him, he needs to take charge. He's not actually in charge of the country. What is he doing about those victims? I mean, he needs to face us. He needs to address the situation as soon as possible. It cannot just be, left in the hands of people who don't actually care about victims. Fabakary Tombong Jatta, Sidin Jai, these are people that, they were not victimized. They never actually cared about victims. The entire TRRC process to them was a total waste of time and resource. So he shouldn't leave our affairs with those people. He himself needs to come and face the victims. Let them come and sit and talk to us. It's true, we are hungry. Obviously, when he comes, there will be a lot of talk back, shouting and stuff. But yes, that's because we are hungry. And as president of the country, we are also citizens of this country. So equally, the way he's treating other citizens, that's how he's supposed to treat us. So that's what we expect from him. And as soon as possible, he needs to solve this issue. Because victims, they don't have the time to sit and wait for funds that are actually lying in our coffers. We cannot wait for that. Let them expedite the process so people can have access to whatever they are supposed to get from the TRRC. But most importantly, it's high time for them to extradite. Let them domesticate the laws on enforced disappearance and torture so we can prosecute Jammeh and his perpetrators. That is what we need as soon as possible. We don't have time to wait for all this process. A couple of days ago, I heard that the Minister of Justice, Dauda Jallo, yes, he was talking with someone regarding the hybrid court system that they wanted to initiate to prosecute Jammeh and the other perpetrators. That definitely is a move in the right direction. We support that, but we need it to happen as soon as possible. They cannot keep dragging this issue for another 1 or 2 years. We don't have that time. I want my mom to get the justice that she deserves. She's here with me now. I don't know whether she'll be here tomorrow. So I want her to see the justice that she actually deserves. Yes.
And it's seriously, my friend support member for signing him fight kan bro tonya finti. Mkata wol sign ten be campaign ka okola bari mo any support sort of. Mfongolem saying institutional men be learning different institutional will ka makoy pour sa yen sita fo si saying na tonya soto saying kata Human Rights Commission molia pour always mitaji always don kata jele and last week meeting okiji 3 days meeting kaya conference hall pour ka yako isilo ko la nyame pour men satin na tonya soto wala tin tol man bewol fo kanko mon jiki ya last time no national assembly pour ni national assembly member so si nga fay ko pour yenyin ko implement sai bari man tol man hope soto because ini ko national assembly tara wolto tinyaro be jele to bawo tol mem jiki national assembly men nya ol membe eto eko ol mem mu nyaton ko fa bakar lota ko yebe kal toilet fe party ba fa la toilet ko so o kama wati nan to man hope soto ko men yimbe na yimbe fenkela so ndara jele buka itandila ko fatul belo lan tolene bena right fight la ba some of them ko ha ibe wona right fight wala fa bari to man jike de parce o la tan ibe sire sidi njayje iki so fonka banne iki aka ko lata bakela ika kamfa ko le sidi njay mam moje fo sidi njay be sire fa bakar borta o man naji fa sidi njay la sita ntol wala kede wala ngotel ke ntol la ni ntol ni ko ta bake ni ko ta bake so na modo fon soto je o mo fon ko lati mo nason membalta ko mo na Aisha Jammeh fama ko haruna Jammeh men yo fa o fanay mo le fa wala ne yo fa o lato je fo kelo la takala palmen ko fo la takala ni itoli ni victime wala pour nga kele fa wala mo bi ko mota de wol fon ko bi ko mota hake ni ko yata nyame nya comme tol be siring ko me jikire menu la wala ko mo sifaf o ton tol fu mena to nya soto la ba ñine mun ko xoloti bari ndel mo dum de ñine kan ko fo yaman tol me jikire nga to tol ben to right fight iko ben right fight la bari maji folo maji because maji ya ñi mo tata mo jël mo jëlat mo is more than 10 people na man 19 17 ñi da actually mo jëlam bara more than 10 people it be like ma mom deng tu fi 1 year don di following year mo bay ma fi 1 year rek la def fi bi ngi tuxu ñu ñëw fi mom akale yo nati ani ñi na dindi fulo sabo dindi sabo ndol le bija anala ala second wife ndol le bija da mal le bija fo anala bro rasul ndol le bija ngayu bono bungutu jam afat ya ata fata en tiyang sanji killing doron sa en nina multu en dini uldo no tuja akole ata baki akole ata
alhamdulillah I was very happy that day because it felt like to me coming something politics is finished in Gambia at that moment. The whole Gambia was one. We had one voice and we're looking forward to the future. I remember neighbors came here, some people were crying. You know, alhamdulillah, it was a very memorable moment for me. And alhamdulillah, you know, coming dindi yawato Monsan Jibi actually, I did not used to like that, but you have to go tough to grow yourself so you don't feel those things. Died tragically, so people come in, they want to see who the victims are, but yeah, work at the bank alhamdulillah. I feel like now we have got some relief from some of the pain we are having, and now we're looking for some answers. We go to you're not getting any answers. More to film for the usually people like they are outside abroad. You can write articles detailing the events of November 11 in Colombia. But Colombia, I think they are for academy was very rare and difficult to find. Okay. Well, no, I didn't want to be a soldier. For us, for the entire family, none of us had a career with the government. We did not have any career with the government. So, just mind my business. For me, especially, I just mind my business. We all mind our business. You go and pray, you take care of your family, and you take care of your work. So, I never had any intention of joining the army ever. I remember one of my friends, I told him, look, I want to go and join the U.S. Army. This was in high school. I said, look, don't join the U.S. Army, and then that went off here. But that was the only slight brief moment I felt like I want to join the army. But no, I don't want to join the army. I tell you what, in November 11th, the way the army works, army is very structured. It's a very structured organization. What they did was they destroyed the entire army. And the Gambia army, Hansai, they have not recovered from that. I tell you why. They killed the officers. An army without officers is an army that's useless. So after they killed the officers in the army, then the army became Siajime's pastoral army. And this is why all the operation came out. They killed people and all those things, because army was no longer a professional unit anymore. It was a pocket army for Yaya Jammeh, because they no longer had any officers. This is what this was. I mean, and still now, up to today, Gambia army has not recovered. Yeah. The army was a prestigious organization at that time, in the 80s, late 80s and early 90s. But since they came on board, they took over. The army lost the prestige and the respect.
Wolong de wolong de sujudtal ala sujudtal kabiri ngame ko bi baro de ngamu damen sujudtal ngako Allah le mon soti ko ya Jammeh finti banko kan ngaji ko ya Jammeh ko e banja e contane bare nga contane mo be kala ken sanati baro man tol long baro man fem fighting tol e o nimiso benal so wadde wolo hani min nata bi hapita na ko ñu ne busul min nata ko he ala ngata baro ko na sunkar ngi be hapiren min ineta do yata be kumbutale ke emotion so kumbuta bake ulung bake bari ngo ko men be ke o kontano no sewo be abe ke tata zero baro man tollo baro man fem fight tolli baro malam tul mu jumal tifa so ni ko eta bake yani bi man ma pide non yey mbeñim fulay nder ni baro sita mbeñim fulay ba fay baro ndul malo munam politique ko ndul man dum politique kon malo munam politique mun man dum politique ko fere bare ka biñu ko keta mbanan do to mbe ko mbe murla mule ka me yalon ko membe bondila ya Jammeh ko ko mbe murta baro ko pour ka fight baro e losi so no baro sita ndul am baro be kala multa be victime mul da bakele ay na ko consider bara man consider amang long malan to mu jumalti so when to surprise ta bakele baro wala ko wala ni tan tan baro sita ba fla anyina ta bakele ndul la
There will be a Truth and Reconciliation Commission established. You get to know the truth. And in that commission, I think there will be recommendations. You will act based on those recommendations. But we get to know the truth first.
Ndifana mang vote esaifa ndamata ko esa amangwa amansifolo akoronto tala kana atenge dambula fongo na ulbe bang ainana barsa intel mi ruta tariya tala kana ndamam vote esaifa no ande manan kedot mo ne manan tul mo manan futan tul ma fi jam ndol kabe ko time ko kutama don so yoro kana jeng natala barora bagaso le kama anin katang insamba ena e kaba bato tul ni so yoro la ko banta to fere mo ne man hani anala friend mala friend lon ko taki mam mo longal fi an baro ay mo jamala so me la friend bar kabe yinkite be bot santol la be mbulaji dal ni la famille do nam mam mo non maje mam feñi dewde ko afata fo bi kabintul ntul lamol na family members ya a request la ko sa soto no fro soto no bam pour nga bade ko hani e ko na fata to ya ntul na fata la bun ko no fam mina sikal ji ntul nga bitaran tol la control saka mam faji fata ntul la bula tol ta tol la kutiji ntul moje family member mo iko sojara se solje tol ni ngoter afata ala bun la fonko tol mina talale e tol le ba pikla so sa mam fa la bun ko so afata tol la responsibility imadi mo kilim family ma kilim maji ite la ngaji ya fanya me wakati ne mali finyaje Gaje wo men findita Basir man tara woto. 7 people ol men fa ñolalem. Wala mo 7 people ol. Basiral kaburu image folo. Ni wo ben amala kaburu bedame image. Yemi mol menje yemi men identify wala msay wala kita 7 people me yefa. Ye wala je bari ngin dolo men killing ba image an say. Wala mo la boy solati. Wala mo Basir Camara ñolti e wala findinde anin ñancoom ñol ye wala findinde bar Basir maaji falo Basir lumme bala jawulum abe fintela bon ko habita wallahi malo ko habita la tamurana wallahi bos namantere femnal ko bebe diare fem tentema be contandere abe fintela bon ko bana fintela bon ko la safa tawakkaltu ala la finti wallahi fimfintir na tema be contane be contane ñol bari Basir tata kontaje la mo mira data do maaji ko taki yalla ngom atata ay la fo 12 suto oto mo la fintita atata watara yalla simon ke fa parta simon ka e vitringi ay be mo labang min kina bu ko ndon mbahal la don le buga mbahal ay mbahalo do mo don afintita tata afintita wala fe tata comme atina ngaw jela mo wala bari fe am fem fentan kayro do alhamdulillah do ben nati ko bala fem fentil.
SFL was doing a great job. He did a great job. I think he's perfect. His personality and his education, his background is perfect for the role he played at the CRC. And we are quite grateful. His interview skills were very, very good. People like that about him. For the political side, look, I'm not a politician. I'll tell you something about my father. In 1994, they gave him an opportunity to leave this house. This is his house. To leave this house and go and live at one of the minister's compounds at a pipeline. He refused. He said, no, he's not leaving his house. He's only going to be for 6 months. Look, from the beginning, he believed he's going to be for 6 months. And then one of my neighbors told me this. Because they went to the stadium, and the junta at the time announced that they will not be staying for 6 months. They'll be staying for, I think, 2 years, right? So my neighbor was telling me, when you are coming back, my father was furious. He said, no, this is going to be 6 months, and he'll come back to the barracks. It's 6 months. So I think this was the point. Differences started happening between them. And my father was someone who had, I remember him, people loved him a lot. He was that kind of person, very kind, gentle person. So people loved him a lot. So, and he had authority. He's not all those people. Those people are in their 20s at that time. He had authority in the army, so they took him as threat. And then instead of settling those things by doing the honorable thing, leaving the position of power, handing power over to civilians, instead of doing the honorable thing, they went and decided to kill the soldiers. So coming back to SFR, going back to my father didn't want the position. He was not interested in the position of a president. He was not interested. So coming back to SFR did a good job, and we commend him for that. At that time, I think it was premature for him to announce his candidacy into the presidential election. If he had waited, like let's say next coming election, then people would reflect, look, SFL did a great job in TRC. I think now it's time we should, perhaps reward him or elect him to be president. This is my view. But obviously, I'm so he's a private citizen. He's entitled to say.
su ko defee.
ni nga kezak.
ñun ñëpp.
mool bee.
ñu def li nga xam ne moo gën pour réew mi.
nsiku ke meya lonko abe banko be na fala.
nga xam ne ñàkk liggéey bi fi nekk ñu génnee ko.
doku soto bali ya nga bondi jang.
ñu génnee fi problème si fi nekk yëpp teg nguur gu ees.
problème jamal mel bi jang sa bondi atela sa bondi no.
nguur gu ees goo xam ne ñi ko jiite suñ génnee réew mi ñu kenn du leen ree.
asi mansa kunda kuto samana meya lonko ni nga samba ñin dunya ko no lawdula na diamuta mote jele lela.
Yeah, so for me, I first started having my voter's card in 2006. However, I never voted because I felt like it was futile. It was just useless. I even wasn't there saying I'll be here for a billion years. And look, we're not political, very political at that time. I'm not political. I'm apolitical, if you can say like that. Well, that's not entirely correct because I have my views as well, right? So I never voted until 2012. 2012, I voted and then it was useless. I didn't won again. So in 2016 was the time I voted, and I voted for the coalition because at that time all of a sudden there was this I mean, Gambia was just fed up with Yajime. Just had to let Yajime go off. So I had my political loyalties, and since that time, but I did not vote for Esa.
Jamme, mimi fola dong lafta kiti ke natema. And men and ali kiti te natema na I men kenna nasi naya sata. Mbele fira wa bake na justice is tala natema lafta wala bake. Yaya si ngasi ndele lafta yaya nam kiti beke dam nga yaya nji ngasi nga nyojube. Mbele fira wala bake. Yaya nyoje tonya ya fon natema. Kati ya ndingul baye ndingul mi famalo nga bata men teki ala dorna yalo hani bimbe bata mbuka sino fanga tenku because delta param be bon borom ko dino delta wala nga dimbal day ngi dañ wala fu bi sita yani bi mbuka sino fa ya je nyal be man kati because wotum be restaurant to 7 good years up and down ji nya yena nya ya be bondele say comme tilo fa na be kedem fo nga specs do bi kata no ni man specs do because of nya ya betinya ta fent hitini ne nya betinya jumala sabu boti ya jame atakata sababu boti ya bata melanka wata bakel be dindi yare 25 years old nga hoslo start be hoslo be ta up and down because mala fi na dindi ngol ki street boyalty lefte be good education osoto lefte momo bata men dingol kana dungo bata ko na mix fu na dingol kana so man bat dalo do bataran jumala walanka alta ko ya jame ya almali kitite natim adunta yam fala ya ma abada fan defense e police ko mo me yalan ko tolle mul ba fala ko tolle to nyaf et man fem fa jem to nyaan because one ila point problem sana ko basiriñu ni tol mom basiriñu be tol fala o mul yalati wala tina imam fem fa jem la tamen lafta lu wale lay be kam be kin na momoy far okay tol ko lu wale lay be kan killing o kola nintu bina men soton sa soto bar lefta luway kiti bika momo mata ka basiriñul fa e luwa tama di bika lefta wala especially ya jama na la mulbe wala no be gambe ma fala gambe no le ko nyin ku furun sifal men yalan ko ya jama kay banko kay ndul senga kilo to baki bu sifal ngana man sa killing alaw abu sifal ke because ndul fango kana man sal ke dictatority ni man sa ya start abe fango keka mba fala ko mtul le ka fako ida mal example basiriñul lako kabiri ya jama start ka basiriñul fadro I will fado ko so joro damal it's only the soldiers jolo damal but the end atata civilian will kan atata no kan atata foto mo be ya so it's ntol man sa ngamuta ko na saban sinyo lamuti itol kan do ko kenyi ngani muta ko itol alalati ngan kata na to nya mem ntol nite man right ngolong ngawitandi le yolo badin kan itol muta ko to alal do ko dam malantol adun tol le si palaso o lefta gamenu se wolong adun kana songa man sa kilinga dictator to nyimbanko kanya ko tak bi mbaro fango ya jammo nyimbaro gamben kol ntol la ka dictator sindi barin kana songa man sa kile ken dictator to nga kata nga itandi nga right long yena right dinna ma gamben kol nga kata na nyimman sa ngi kana tulunna man sa men tol ngi sindi man sa mus just servant toronet man sa nata sita amman fen sota fayi amman fe afan keno fen da tele walin ay big ablate noma al makoy ngaman sa anata keta man sati ya bula yake afan ay nasi ay totul kungo kan men dieta kake man sangol si hakelo to yalanko ala be konti bo wala lakara be ala be kitindi la nyim wol men yalanko ko tul mul men ala be kitindi la man sa salonko bo mol wolle te ke fenti ata kola so ni to man sangol o mol lay ko be tul nela ala be kite tele ni te bala mol man sembo soto bari to le sembo soto ye isindije bari moy nat e sembo te yere sembo yo murndi tol kan imira right dila ye kuku kele kole ato ala be kite tele ni tema dafta ngofu gamen ko sa kata bake man sanyul yalon ko nyimmol wolle nyimmol meni kato fa e wolle ke man sati kana tulun adi sen na kol consider bake
he's a coward. I'll tell him right in his face. So talk on feeling my difficult look out. But the guy, I'm so angry. Look, I'm not even gonna deal with that. Gambians, one thing I will say is tolerance is key. Based on the current ongoings in Gambia, I think we're not actually really tolerant as we presume that we are. Because so we are right now, Dekabi, Dafahala Jahaso. And this is a message that I actually keep telling people in my engagements. You know, Dekabi Sunehe, Nepa Sinjeri. So they Dekabi the Fanahari. Tolof in Nepasiduga, Meet be Nepasiduga. So you know, Dekandor. I mean, it's high time we start, actually acknowledging each other. So they Nikki the farm meet it. Yo as that person's neighbor, what I'm gonna gain. But right now, as victims, we don't see anybody actually standing, fighting our fight. Degala, we have civil society organizations that are actually there representing victims. They are doing as much as they can, but they are not the central government. So then the foreign victims, it actually has to come from the central government. The civil society organizations, they are doing all that they can. Quite a bit. They also rely on funding elsewhere. If that funding is dry, victims in your son. But as citizens of this Gambia, it's high time the government take up its role to actually solve those issues. We have victims who are on their sick beds. They need all the assistance they can get. We have hospitals here. What is the health ministry doing about this? Can they actually help those victims? They have free medical access to those clinics. What are we doing about it? They can be the aversida no lambel. Darado. To be honest, it has become normal to me. To be honest.
Why?
Dunana actually for the past 28 years. Taraginuti, no justice, nothing. Come like I said, sister Tinbi, months more papa, what diganela homoko. Parce I was 11, bunkore. I don't know anything about him. November 11, sujote, digala, I actually feel for my mom. Parce I know what she goes through every November 11. Where man as an individual, come doma, man homoko. There's nothing I don't get to feel, why for my mom, I definitely feel sad for her. Parce que mom, she was 25 when I raised papa. She was very young. She had 3 kids. Mudugal new school. Fair new school fees. So you upkeep. Bete, nekani. Bete every single day. Sumode nyo Maria Masteran, the fire halis. Own halis amujoma. Magelike. Gambela the family. Lego legi things he chang. Maybe more more assist. She's old now. So, I feel for a lot. Yes, his books were here. One day, the books were here. Mbahanami, Kosim Dansol, they were here. They were here for quite considerable amount of years. More than 15 years they've been here with us. At some point, I think one guy, wardrobe basically, the pillow, some things went missing. So I think what we have of his now, one is lying at the memory house at Aniket in Carnifing. For his staff ID. For now, Bobu is in my possession. I have that here. But other than that, apart from Kirbum Sampa, Guibum Fisampa, other than that, I don't think we have any of his belongings. Yeah. Keep up the good work. This is good. It actually means a lot to me for recognizing the fact that victims are out there whose stories need to be heard. You took your time, your resource, you came to the house. That's actually something. It's actually meaningful for us, and yalna sen bunta bi gëna yaatu gëna ubi. Suma mag force domam mom la ko tuddee Al Bashir. Te dem suma sister bu jigéen bi tamit moom tam tuddee na force domam Al Bashir. So am na dooma si ñun.
Well, for me, I lost faith, to be honest. I lost faith in the current regime. For the time I heard Barrow say, if you are campaigning, you can say anything you want. For me, that was just that's like the boot for me. That's like the house for me. You cannot say that. So, I mean, we are Muslims, right? We are supposed to follow. We are not perfect by any means, but we are supposed to follow a higher moral standard. I mean, you can see people that are not Muslims. If your prime minister messes up, your own party forces you to resign. I mean, it's amazing, So, for us to talk like that, I think it was a mistake. Since then, I lost faith in the current administrator. That was it. Maybe like in 2017 or 2018, when that video surfaced, and that was it for me. I cannot go back. Junior Alice, Moto, Santa Mamba. We are not seeking any of those things. Compounds and cars and Moto. No. there's no ultimate justice at the end of the day here. There's no ultimate justice. For me, as a victim, what I prefer is the truth to come out completely, and there's chance of for victims to forgive. Though we have been through a lot of trauma, there's chance of people to forgive, but that cannot happen in the presence of truth. Like I said, I cannot forgive Sanna coming on TV saying false testimonies regarding our family, about my father. I cannot forgive that. Certainly, if someone does a crime, you're part of the crime, you come in and deny. We had many previous and people give testimonies against Edward and others. So you come into JRC, deny every single one of them. So I don't know. It's very complex. It's very complex. I think we'll just wait and see, because I cannot say with certainty that I have to see these people locked up, or I have to see them go through the same situation as I've been through. It's very complex. I pray and I hope for the best, really. But we are still having our wounds. Our wounds have not completely healed. Even though it's been a long time now. But I think we can have some form of feeling, if we have truth. And this was the entire point, the whole point of the TRC, truth and reconciliation. I don't think it's complex. I cannot say much about the issue now. It's complex. Okay, it's like this. So every year at this time, we just remember we have the memories of our father, the beautiful times we spent together, and also people coming out, especially people that knew him when he was alive. They recount all the beautiful moments they had with him. They remember especially his kindness. And for me, this is what inspires me the most. My father was a very kind person. He was a family man. He loved his family. His family loved him. And people come over and come out. We don't force anybody, but they come out, they recount some of those beautiful moments they had, some of those beautiful deeds they witnessed him do. So those things we are really proud of. And alhamdulillah, those things really inspire us also. We pray to Allah to have mercy on him and his colleagues who were killed unjustly on November 11, 1994. And we pray and hope for peace and justice in this world as well as in the hereafter.
November 11 nag bis bu egsee rek xol yëpp tooy ndax daf ñuy fàttali loo xam ne lu métti la woon.
November su ne rek ëllëg la 1st November man ci laa dee door de am problème balaa November di jeexa.
November 11 victims olmi ka fo yefa nkema tarta wo mol le kono min yalon ko ka fo yefa
bay be sirin lunkilindo ikema e bodala to ayta akata do ko latata mamurna
moom Dot Fall ak Basiru Baro ñoom lañ njëkka rey sànni leen ci troc bi ci kaw.
patrol boobu leen doon xaar ñanco ben tey gisuñ ko.
ite murunta watu doron ite ni woni ko yaka murun wonene bukap adate bola fo lungo min nan tol fanam fata
kabri Ivan Fama Faka was 11